everybody, so in this video we're going to get talking about my personal favorite functional movement, the squat. And the squat is one of those foundational movements. You use this all the time in everyday life, whether we're just walking around and we have to pick something up, or it's even the foundation for running, jumping, you name it. The squat is such an important part of how we move as a human. What I like to see with a squat is the ability to have your feet right underneath your hips with your toes pointed straight forward, and to squat down with the hip crease below the knee crease while keeping your back upright and flat. And we can see this from a different angle. Feet again, hip width apart, toes pointed nice and forward. What's going to happen is I'm going to screw my feet into the ground just like we do in our midline bracing sequence when we're playing golf. So if you've seen my midline bracing sequence, we stand tall, butt squeeze, core squeeze, feet screwed in, extend, hang, and then load. The idea here, the feet screwing in, that creates a good amount of torque. It puts our hips into a good, healthy position so that they can actually move through flexion and extension, the downward and upward motions, safely. So standing here, I'm going to screw my feet in, and for those of you that don't know, I'm pretending like I'm standing on a piece of paper. I'm going to rip that paper apart by splitting my toes. The catch is my feet don't actually go anywhere. So standing tall, feet screwed in, my shoulder blades are engaged, my shoulders are back. I can have my arms out, I can have them up, I can be a front rack, I can be a back rack. Just depends on what we're doing. Today we're just doing an air squat. We'll talk about those variations in a second. But I can come down, keeping my feet screwed in, my feet stay nice and flat, my toes point forward. If we find that on the way down, your feet start to open, if your heels start to come off the ground, if your back starts to round, if your knees start to cave in, these are all signs that you probably have some restricted mobility elsewhere in the body. So if that's the case, we're going to go back to what we've been working on the past month, and we can clean up some of those key areas. But assuming that you've followed your homework, you're feeling good, your body is doing a great job here, we can go ahead and perform some squats. So again, stand tall, butt squeeze, core squeeze, feet screwed in, back is engaged. We're going to have our knees move outward to open our hips, allow our pelvis to sink straight on down. The idea again is we want to maintain a neutral core when we do this. I definitely don't want to see any rounding or hyperextension. Down and back up. And there you have it. We have the squat. Now, I said a second ago there are variations of the squat. There's a lot of them out there. Your basic variations include a weight. Where we put the weight, whether it's on the front of your body, the back of your body, or overhead your body, that's where the changes really come in. So one of the first adding weight squats that we can do is called a goblet squat. And this is a kettlebell here. This is it's 30 pounds. The goblet squat, I'm going to hold the kettlebell nice and close to my chest. My feet are still about hip width, maybe a little bit wider to shoulder width apart. Toes are pointed forward, my butt is engaged, my core is engaged, my feet are screwed in. Now keeping this weight right here on my chest, I'm going to squat down. Again, with the weight, it's going to want to pull me forward. I want to resist that. I want to use that weight to build good body awareness, to come straight down and then back up. Come straight down and then back up. Now, a little bit more advanced than an air squat or a goblet squat would be using a barbell. Some of the common variations that we see are with the weight on our back. This is your traditional powerlifting move. This is the back squat. We also have the front squat, where we get the bar on what we call the rack position, elbows nice and high, squat down and back up. Then lastly, my personal favorite is the overhead squat. Keeping the barbell, or you could use a kettlebell, you can use dumbbells, overhead while maintaining good form through that squat. So to show you them again from the side, back squat, front squat, and my favorite, the overhead squat. So out of what we've talked about, First up is we just need to get a perfect air squat. I don't want you adding any external weight until your air squat or unloaded squat is rock solid. Then we can introduce something like a kettlebell or a dumbbell and do some goblet squats, and finally we can move into some barbell variations, going from back squat to front squat to overhead squat. If you want to learn more and stay up to date with the latest and greatest in the world of golf mobility, find me on social media at Mobilitas Golf, or use hashtag MoveBetterPlayBetter. I also encourage you to go to mobilitasgolf.com, sign up for my free weekly newsletter. It goes out every Monday, and I'll send straight to your inbox the latest and greatest techniques in the world of golf mobility. Move better, play better.